negative 28 degrees right now outside. Can you believe that shit, Tora? Feels like negative 28. That's the wind chill. But they said that happened like 1980s, but I don't think so, because I would have remembered if it got to negative 28. Okay, so this morning I kind of got a good one. Well, and yesterday I got a good one. Okay, yesterday was kind of too sexual. But the thing is, I wasn't asking for sex. As far as I remember, I was asking for an experience, but Joel gave me a bunch of sex yesterday morning. And so I can't talk a lot about it. But oh, he was going off of well, okay, hold on, let me see. Oh, okay, so it started off like I think he tried to block my memory or something, but I was asking to, you know, float around and stuff, and you know, astral travel and stuff like that, or, you know, no gravity, low gravity experience. So he started off. I was at my mom's house, like in the dining room area, and I was just kind of floating around, doing backflips, front flips, and then I started talking to Joel, but after I woke up and everything, I realized he was making me say those things, because I wouldn't have said those things. Yeah, and so I'm pretty sure he made me say those things. You know, like some sexual type of things. And but it seemed like it came from my own self when I was in experience. But when I woke up, like I say, I realized that he made me say that. So that whole time, you know, I was kind of floating around, doing backflips and front flips in the dining room about 3 feet above the ground. That was the first part of the scenario. And then, okay, well then he showed me, you know, well then he put me in a virtual reality, you know, scenario. Baby, I need my pen, honey. That. And okay, so after that, basically, okay, I was in some kind of foreign country, but he didn't. Like I felt like it could have been Peru or something like that, but he didn't tell me. So like I say, after that scene at my mom's house, I was in a, you know, like another virtual reality, you know, scene. So then it went from that to this. Okay, now here's the big old, like, dirt, like reddish, mound. And it was super big. It was pretty big. It was, well, I don't know how big, but it's pretty big, you know. I don't know, like maybe 6-7 stories high, you know, and pretty wide. And it looked, I'll get to the other part in a minute, but it looked like, it was shaped like this, except, you know, like 30 times bigger, 50 times bigger or whatever. Let me find it. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, where's it at? Winter Thaw. I'm going to watch Winter Thaw. It's in one of these somewhere. There it is. Huge. Goddamn. Huge mound. Yeah, it actually kind of looks just like that one in the scenario. Except, you know, it was like, you know, like 50, I don't know, 50, 100 times bigger or whatever. Like 7 stories high. And pretty wide. You know, many car lengths wide. at the bottom, the base, but it was actually kind of shaped just like that, kind of reddish. And I kind of felt, when I was in the scenario, I kind of felt like he was maybe trying to copy off of that movie, the Third Encounters of the Third Kind or Fourth Kind or whatever, where they kind of show like mounds and stuff. But I don't know, maybe he wasn't. But anyway, so, and like I say, it was sexual. But okay, so, but I'll get to that later. Okay, so after my mom's dining room scene, then like all of a sudden, like I say, I felt like I was in PerU. And so I was standing, he placed me right here. I was standing like right there. And there's the mound. And then over here, it seemed like it was kind of like a covered, what do you call that? A little covered area, but it was still open. A hut, like a hut sort of thing right here. I don't know how to draw a hut. And okay, this guy looked familiar too. Like, I don't know, it may have been from a movie or something like that. Okay, so there was this black man right here. He looked about, I don't know, about not that old, like maybe 40 or something, or 38 or something like that. There was a black man, and he was completely like naked. And I got to edit a lot of this stuff out. And then it's like he was hanging out with a friend. Like, I didn't get the impression that, he was trying to molest the monkey or anything like that. But anyway, so he had like a little friend that looked half monkey, like a spindly little skinny thing. Well, actually, he was, the black man was, bigger. And then the little monkey thing that was by him, it was not very big, just about 2 or 3 feet tall. And then, and here's the black man just kind of sitting there. And then the little monkey / alien / human looking thing. But it looked more monkey-like and alien-like. And also he was, this alien or whatever was very, very like whitish looking, very, it was definitely a monkey. It was definitely part monkey. That's no doubt. That was clear in the whole scenario. This was a monkey. It just wasn't, it looked half human and half alien and half monkey. But you could definitely see more monkey and alien characteristics than human characteristics. And it was kind of whitish looking. It wasn't dark like a monkey. And so Joe was showing me his big old winger, this black man, and because he was naked. And then the little monkey, he kind of had a big one too, but it was kind of skinny, long and skinny. So the black man got up and he carried the little monkey. Well, there was some other sexual stuff, but I got to edit that out. Okay, so then he started walking this way to go place them back up on the mound. Like, this is where they lived. And then all of a sudden, when I looked at the mound, I saw, hundreds of monkeys. But they all were kind of different looking, not like normal looking monkeys. And they were all, running around the mound and stuff. And there was little, like small cave, little entryways too, openings in this mound. That was all very clear. This was all, very vivid and graphic and clear. And like mainly this was one of those experiences where it was kind of, because sometimes he'll, give me experiences and he'll just show a bunch of sexual stuff. And then other times there are distinct experiences where he kind of like, gets me off. But he doesn't like have sex like directly, you know what I mean? But they know how to, control a human and everything, you know what I mean? Once they kind of still your astral essence and stuff like that or whatever, it's all very but I mean oh my god, it's so cool in all these other dimensions though, you know what I mean? It's really cool. But anyway, so after that scenario, okay, then all of a sudden he kind of, it jumps to like another scene, and this time it feels like I'm in like a warehouse, like a pretty big, okay, so it jumps to this, okay. So it jumps to a scene like in a warehouse. And then there was a pair, the first thing he showed me was a pair of people right here. A pair, or a couple, basically. Couple. And, and they were kind of, like having sex and everything over here. And then, like he shows me just like, kind of like one couple at first. And then, and there was a bunch of more like graphic stuff and stuff. But nothing like sadistic or anything like that. He doesn't do stuff like that. But, and then all of a sudden, okay, hold on. Yeah, and then, okay, then all of a sudden, there was just, like I say, this warehouse was pretty big. And then all of a sudden, there was like another pair, and another pair, another pair, another pair of people. Pair. And this was all, okay, well, I guess I could say that. It was all like gay, homosexual stuff. Like men, not women. And, but he gives me everything, you know what I mean? Or he shows me anything, heterosexual, gay, whatever. And then like, and there's quite a bit, another pair and a 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 pair. And then they all were like having sex, and they all were like having sex. And, okay, well then it kind of got more graphic and stuff, more like, more detailed and visual and shit. And then there was like even another part that was kind of more at the end, like bam, kind of like more animated. But I'm going to leave that part out. But anyway, well, I mean, like Carla Turner sex. I mean, yeah, the reptilians, they'll show you anything and everything, gay stuff, straight stuff, or kind of have sex with you any which way, but except they don't do it directly. But anyway, okay, wait, hold on. So anyway, that was, oh shit, I can't forget that. Okay, so, damn it, I was almost going to forget that. Okay, so, back to here. Okay, so basically, I had all these, like, and Joel, programmed it like that. But anyway, okay, so I guess I could not leave that part out. But basically, this sexual part basically was just, I mean, it all looks very real, very vivid, very real. So he showed me this black dude's big winger, and then the little monkey's winger. And like I say, it was like long but skinny. His was like pretty, big. But anyway, so when he was walking over here, okay, the monkey he was carrying the monkey on his right side, and they were walking this way, and he was like holding his winger for whatever reason. But he was, I didn't get the impression that he was molesting him or anything like that. He was just, I think, just kind of holding it, I don't know, just to keep him secure. You know what I'm saying? But that was the sexual part that the black guy was holding, the black guy was, he was pretty dark skinned, not like dark, like my spirit guide, but, you know, pretty black. And like I said, the monkey was real whitish, creamish color looking. But anyway, okay, I forgot to leave I almost left this part out. So basically, as I was looking at the mound and all the monkeys and running up and down and running inside the small little caves, aka openings and stuff. And like I say, when I watched the Close Encounters of the Third Kind, I can't remember exactly right now what the mound even looked like. I'd have to go back and look at the movie. Or maybe it was the Fourth Kind, something like that. I can't remember what it was called. But when I saw it, I was like, wow, this is a lot better than I thought it was going to be, that movie. Because some alien movies are so freaking stupid, but that one was pretty good. Dark Skies was pretty good. And there's been some others that's been pretty good. But anyway, so basically, okay, I was standing there looking at the mound and stuff, and basically Joel programmed it. He was telling me, oh, this is, okay, how do I say it? Like, this is, okay, and I was, you know, recently kind of watching, what's that called? Like Avatar stuff, like the new Avatar movie. I mean, it's kind of funny because Joel, he could have made, you know, these people like Na'vi people, but he made the monkeys. Maybe there were some monkeys in Avatar. I don't know. I can't remember. But so basically he was trying to tell me, okay, this, and when I looked at that mound, even when I looked at that black guy, he looked so familiar. When I looked at, but I think they can probably just kind of mind. I mean, most of the time they do put stuff, you know, what I've seen at grocery store, like people, what I've seen at grocery stores and stuff like that. But other times it could be people that you've really never ever, or, you know, fake people that you've never really seen before, but they can just kind of, you know, mind control your brain into thinking that he, you know, you've seen this man before, you know what I mean? But, so basically Joe, you know, was trying to tell me, he programmed the scenario where, you know, I was like, okay, so this, he was trying to tell me, okay, here's is the scene, you know, in this country, here is the scene that, you know, here's this, you know, the scene, the scenery that they used and put in that movie, like the Avatar movie. And I don't, the second, basically the second Avatar movie, because that's what I had on the brain and everything. But I don't really know if there's really a mound or anything in the second, like the second movie. But yeah, so he was just trying to tell me that look, here is the scene with all the monkeys and stuff. They use this specific spot in Peru to put in that movie. And so that was kind of funny. But like I say, it was all sexual. Well, like I say, you know, the aliens are fun because that would be boring if they're just like, you know, bam, you know, like, you know, got you off, so to speak. I mean, it's much more fun when they put a whole scenario to it, you know, and Joel always does, you know, puts a fun scenario to it, you know what I mean? But anyway, okay, so that was that experience. Okay, now this morning, oh my God, this one pissed me off so bad. I'm not going to talk about those. I typed some of these experiences down, but they, see, I didn't really use a lot of words in some of these to explain them. So, and some of them, I waited too long to talk about them, so some of them, but as I read it, it would probably kind of come back to me. But I can talk about all these in a different video. I'll probably get another good experience in the morning. Okay, so basically, but yeah, it was the oddest looking little monkey. I mean, it was, like I say, it really didn't, I don't know why I want to say it. It didn't look human at all. It was part human. I mean, part alien and part monkey. But, you know, because it was lighter skin and everything, I guess you could say it was kind of human as well. But it was really, the monkey, the one that I saw close up, was more like 45% alien 45% monkey, and then 10%, or 5 or 10% like human. You know what I mean? It looked more alien and monkey than anything. But anyway, okay, so the experience, I hope I don't forget anything. Because there was 3, okay, 1, 2, there was another woman that came into the, anyway, Tammy. Her name was, Tammy. But anyway, so, okay, so this other experience, and then what was her name? Tammy and what was her name? I worked with her. She died. She was about 52, so she didn't even. And I don't know how she died because it didn't say how she died on the internet. But because I know she was a diabetic, but as far as anything else, I don't know. But we hung out a lot. Went to Red Lobster, movies, the zoo, Kansas City Zoo, Swope Park Zoo. We went to basketball games, mainly to pig out, like a Red Lobster. And we went to a lot of movies, basketball games, the zoo. There's probably a couple other things we did too. But anyway, I'm trying to freaking... Oh, okay, her name was Sharon Green. And she ended up in this experience. It wasn't, really her. It was a replica, but Joel put... But I'm trying to think... Tammy. Well, anyway, that's besides the point. But anyway, okay, Sharon Green. Okay, so anyway... Okay, hold on. Okay, so basically... Okay, basically, I'm at Price Cutter... In the experience, I knew that it was Price Cutter / consumers. Like the whole scenario, basically, it was both. It was Price Cutter and it was consumers. In real life, it's 2 distinct stores, but in the scenario, it was just sort of like both stores. And but the whole scenario, Joe. Where the Hobby Lobby is now, that's where consumers used to be. The old Hobby Lobby, buy service merchandise right there. That's where the whole, that's where the consumers used to be when I was a little kid for many, many years. In that exact area. And so, in the scenario, this is where that experience happened, in that exact grocery store. And like I say, in the scenario, it was kind of like both. Sometimes I would know that it was Price Cutter, and sometimes I knew that it was consumers. So it was kind of like, both in the scenario. And, okay, so it started out like I was just shopping. No, actually, it was more like over here. The refrigerators. Okay, here's that. Basically kind of like the back. This was the back security door. No, this was the front of the store. Okay, so, and basically, okay, hold on. Basically, and Joe's given me experiences in this same store, so to speak, many, 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 many times. For like 48 years now, millions of experiences in this store, but they were always, different, different scenarios, but in exact same consumers, in this exact same, I was in that exact store, but in the altered state of consciousness, but not really in the store, if you know what I mean. It's all virtual reality or whatever. Okay, so basically, I was shopping, and I finally got a cart. I went over and I started getting a cart, and I started pushing it around. And for some dumb reason, I started just, like, I didn't really buy myself any food at all. I was just shopping for my turtles. And so at one time, I looked down in my cart and I had like 5 packages of just really flat, just small little packages of like fish, but they all were just really small and like flat packages in my cart. There was like 5 of them and this big old cart, and that's all I was going to buy. I mean, it was just kind of gross. And there was a refrigerator at one point, and I don't know how to draw a refrigerator, but anyway, there was a refrigerator at one point. I looked inside the refrigerator and I noticed some caps and stuff that needed to be thrown away. And I reached in there and I started kind of cleaning up the refrigerator and stuff. And then there was another part of the scenario where I went over to this freezer refrigeration case, and I looked down and there was all this like, okay, as far as I remember, it was supposed to be fish, but it was all big, thick, big square chunks. I mean, it was like almost as big as these sheets of paper, except a little bit smaller. And they were just kind of layered on top of each other. And I was just kind of looking at it, and it wasn't even covered up. Like each layer kind of had like a thin piece of kind of like wax paper, or not even wax paper, thinner than wax paper between the sheets. And I was like lifting it up, and I did get like one hunk of that, and I placed it in my cart. And so that kind of went on a long time, where I was just shopping. Okay, hold on. Let me see if there was any other details I'm forgetting about oh yeah. And then at one point during the shopping part of the scenario, which was the first part of the scenario, the shopping part of the scenario, there was a bigger refrigeration case. Oh no, I mean, that was a refrigerator right there. And then here was that refrigeration case, and I saw some weird looking, like I say, the fish and stuff is just packaged weird and everything. And then there was a big other, it was almost shaped like a dumpster, but it was a big refrigeration freezer dilly bobber. And I thought to myself, oh, why don't I just push this around instead of the little bitty cart? Which made no sense because I wasn't hardly buying anything anyway. So I kind of started pushing it around, and I had all sorts of food and stuff in it, frozen fish and frozen foods and stuff in it. And so I kind of started pushing it around, which that would be too heavy in real life. I started pushing it around, and I was thinking, no, I can't do that because they're going to think I'm going to take off with it and steal stuff. You know what I mean? So I eventually went back to my normal cart. You know, my normal cart I was pushing around. Cart that I was pushing around. And like I said, here is the back. Not a normal exit door, just like a security door. Okay, so, well, basically, and some of the things I said was out of order, but yeah. But anyway, so back to, okay, now here's where all the drama happened. So, okay, so here's, the grocery store. Okay, so right after, okay, somebody came up and tapped on my back as I was reaching in the refrigerator. Oh, whoops, yeah, I drew that wrong, but okay, here. Somebody tapped on my back as I was leaning down, kind of being tidy and cleaning some caps that were just kind of like, I don't know, plastic caps kind of thrown in there. I was just kind of cleaning it up a little bit, and for whatever reason, and somebody came, I can't remember if it was a woman. As far as I remember, it was a woman. Okay, wait, hold on, because I'm thinking one of the employees, hold on. Okay, I think she was an employee, not a shopper. Hold on. Let me think. Shopper. A shopper. Yeah. I'm pretty sure she was a shopper. I mean, not a shopper. She was an employee and she was a woman. And she came up, tapped me on the back. And that's when I turned around and she's like, okay, you know, cause she was basically telling me to, stand at attention. I got something all of us employees have something to say. So basically, the employees kind of came, a few more employees kind of came together and they were like, okay, okay, nobody can go out of the store anymore. It's being all locked up. Nobody can leave the store. It's being locked up. What's that? Is there a word for it? There could be a word for it. It's, wait, hold on. Let me see if there's a better word for it. But basically, we were being held captive, basically. Okay, hold on. Lock up. Is there... held prior to court. Oh, okay. I don't know. There could be a better word, but basically, we were being no, not detained. Detained is not the right word. Lock up. What do they call that? If there's a shooter outside of Walmart and everybody in the store, they're gonna like lock it up and not let you go out. What's that called? Lock up. Okay, hold on. Let me look it up because there could be a better word real quick. Oh, okay. Okay, I think it's called lockdown. There might be a better word still, but I think that's what it's called. Like, yeah, if the news people were to say something like that, they would say Walmart was locked down. Yeah, so basically we were being locked down. I can't remember what the word I just used a second ago. But it locked up. But it's called lockdown. Yeah, so basically they were saying, okay, you're all going to be locked down. You're in lockdown, basically. And nobody can leave the store. And she said, we're going to pair you guys up. At each table, and then all of a sudden, there's all these tables everywhere. Well, no, not over here. I'll tell you about over there in a minute. But basically, there's all these tables, and they paired us up, and they paired me with this dude with the short, dark hair over here. So I was paired up with the guy, and then there was all these other people like paired up, and there was equal amount of women and equal amount of men. They were all like paired up, sitting at the tables. And basically we were in lockdown. And okay, lockdown. And I'm trying, where did he get that from? I wasn't thinking about anything like that lately. Or maybe I was, but anyway. So basically we were in lockdown, and so I sat there for quite a while with that guy. Eventually I knew, wait, hold on. No, I gotta say the other parts first. Okay, so, and I talked a lot to that guy, and then I saw like another guy, and I think he was paired up with a woman, and, but that went on for a long time, just sitting there for a long time with that guy. And I did kind of have thoughts throughout the scenario, like, when are they going to let us leave? I mean, some of us are going to get hungry and blah, 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 blah. Okay, so then, like I said, that lasted a long time, just sitting there for a long time. Or it seemed like, I don't know, like hours and hours or whatever in the scenario. Okay, then I eventually walked over to this other table. And this is all very vivid. Then all of a sudden, I sit down at a table, and there's this I mean, there's another woman sitting there, and then all of a sudden, my friend from many years ago, Sharon Green, shows up in the scenario. And the scenario, she had much longer, not that much longer, but kind of thicker hair. And it was darker. It wasn't even gray. And she looked older, but she looked very healthy. And the whole time I was staring at her, I was like, I'm pretty sure you're dead. Like, I knew she was dead in real life. And so even in the scenario, I knew she was supposed to be dead. And, okay, and this is where, okay, so this is the table. Where me and Sharon Green were sitting. And then all of a sudden she starts talking to me. And she says, and I just kept, I don't understand. I don't understand. What do you mean? What do you mean? I don't know why Joel does that, but he makes people a lot of times very hard to understand. And I'm just like, what do you mean? What did you say? What do you mean? What did you say? And she was just like, I know, like why we're being, it's kind of like talking in low gravity, like low gravity talking or something. And, I wonder if it's maybe he's doing it on purpose or if it's just, a screw up of the programming when he programs when he, what do you call it? Electronically and digitally controls your brain or whatever, or the implant or whatever with these experiences. Maybe it's just a foul up, But anyway, so she was just kind of like, I know why we're locked down. I know. And I was just like, why are we locked down? Why? What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say? Well, okay, hold on. Then finally she starts talking a little clearer, and then that's where an image of a Tammy comes in. And I did have Tammy on the brain because that's my stepsister. But in the scenario, it wasn't. No, the other woman, because I already told you another woman was sitting there. The other woman finally started to help her explain to me why we're being locked down. But finally, Sharon started to talk clearer and better and everything. Because I was like, oh, you mean we're locked down because of what's going on in another state, and they think this political woman is being threatened, and that's why we were being locked down. But anyway, so this other woman that was sitting there, she was like, oh, there's this political woman named Tammy, like in another state, and she's being threatened, and that's why we're being locked down. And then I started to reiterate to Sharon. I started looking at her and the other woman, and I was like, oh, you mean her name is Tammy and she's a political woman in another state, and that's why we're being locked down? And she said yes. And so I told, Sharon that. I was like, oh, that's why we're being locked down, because of this political woman in another state. And then I started eventually having all these thoughts like, she don't even live here in this state. She's not even here in this grocery store. Why are we being locked down? I kept questioning that and stuff. Okay, so after that, okay, hold on. Let me make sure I'm not forgetting anything up to that point. And like I said, I had the other woman kind of had kind of curlyish, shoulder length, lightish, blondish hair. And but it was just funny. Sharon was trying to talk to me, and I've had experiences like this over and over and over again, where somebody's trying to talk to me, and it's like, blah, blah, blah. Like they can't get the words out. It's so weird. But I think he's just doing it on purpose, because some people talk very clearly to me under my scenarios. Okay, so after that, I go back over to my guy that I'm supposed to be sitting with. Oh, did I write that table down? Okay, so this table. And then, by that time, at least, an hour went by or longer. I'm pretty sure an hour, more than an hour went by that we had been in this facility. I've been in the grocery store locked down. It had already been an hour. And then, like, at one point, I knew it had already been an hour. And then at one point, I was questioning, like, I know we've been in here many hours. You know what I mean? But anyway, so after that point, after I talked to Sharon and Tammy, but like I say, she looked so healthy, and she looked older, but so healthy. And I was just like, in my head, you're supposed to be dead, But anyway, so because in real life she's dead. So anyway, so I started talking to that guy, my partner that I was paired up with. I said we need to get up out of here. We need to raise hell and get the flip on out of here. And he agreed with me. He's like, yeah, let's raise hell. And we need to get up out of here. And we need to leave the store and get the hell out of here. And everybody else was just being, docile little pansies. You know what I mean? So finally, well, hold on. I'm trying to remember because another couple, when I looked at them, the other guy and the woman, okay, I'm trying to think. Because as far as I remember, they didn't want to cooperate, as far as I remember. Only that wanted to cooperate was me and him, the guy that I was paired up with. But I do remember totally seeing the other guy he was almost kind of baldish with that other woman and everything. But I think, as far as I remember, we tried to get them to participate with this, but they didn't want to. And I totally remember what he looked like. He is almost kind of baldish on top. And so I kind of started kind of running fast all in the store. And I was like, I started cussing. I'm getting the fuck out of here and blah, 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 blah. And started screaming and shit and raising hell. And there was this other kind of good looking woman right here. She looked about, 60. And she kind of looked at me like somebody that doesn't want to conform. She looked at me like, there's somebody that doesn't want to conform, This woman sitting over here at the table. And she just happened to be by herself. But I don't know where her buddy was at. But anyway, she was sitting at another table. And all of this was very vivid. She looked at me like another, nonconformist. But I just got up I'm getting the fuck out of here. I'm leaving. And, these motherfuckers have no right to detain us, baby, or detain us basically and lock us down. And I knew we had already been in there for hours, and I knew I needed to go eat and shit like that. And another point, I came walking back here. And, the first part of the scenario, when I sat down at the table, or the second part of the scenario where I sat down at the table with my with my, with my partner, I looked at this back door and I saw the lights, like the yellowish lights, blinking, yellowish and reddish lights blinking above. So I knew that it was It was set. Like there was an alarm system. I knew that it was set, but I knew that I could go out, but I knew that it would set off an alarm. You know what I'm saying? Like I knew that it would be unlocked once you opened it, but I knew that it would set off an alarm. And because the lights were still, kind of flashing, the red light or the reddish and yellowish light up at the top. So after I started cussing and everything, and I said, I'm getting the fuck out of here and blah, 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 blah. And then I went back to this door and I noticed they were turned off. And that's when I knew that it was somehow locked and that there's no way I would be able to go out that back door. That it was somehow locked up, when those lights went out. And so basically, I which this part really didn't make sense. No, and then another one part of the scenario, there was quite a bit when I looked at all the people. There's quite a bit of people, many pairs of people all up over here. There was another part in the scenario where I had a glimpse where I kind of was almost kind of like outside looking in, and there were just thousands and thousands and thousands of people just locked up in here, So after I started cussing and everything, and then that woman looked at me like a non-conformist. Okay, and here's all the front doors right here. And this part over here was just already open. That was just already kind of like open. And I easily just walked out. There was a bunch of like food trucks, like, semi trucks full of food and shit right here. And I just like walked out and I was like, wow, I got it. There was there was concrete overhang or whatever, but it was open. I could still, just an overhang or whatever over the semi trucks. And then I saw all the sun shining in and I'm like, wow, I haven't seen sun in a long time. And so I walked out and I'm like, I clearly could have left. And I'm like, wait a minute, I can't leave. I can't leave my car back in the store and my purse back in the store. So I walked back in the store, which like none of that really makes sense. And so for some reason, I guess, maybe the parking garage or something was in the store inside this lockdown or whatever. Because like I say, that part didn't make sense. And if anything, I still could have just went in, grabbed my purse, and still got the hell out of there and got my car at some other time. You know what I'm saying? But that part really didn't make sense. And then as I kind of went back in the store, all up over here was like nothing but construction area. And it was still sort of like inside the store. It was still inside this oh, hold on. Yeah, never mind. I remember now. It was still inside this lockdown. All of these, like, not semi-trucks were not moving. It was, what did that woman call those? Like a bobcat, third, what'd she call that? Third steer, deer steer, something like that. There was all these construction workers, bringing food in and doing also construction work and shit too. Just all up in here, just all up. Like I said, the semi trucks were over here. And then there was just all these construction, a bobcat, third steer, whatever it's called. And just coming all up over here. And I was facing this direction at that point. And like I said, this whole area was just, where they were just bringing in food, like the warehouse area. But there was a lot of construction going on too. And, like the bobcat and the third steer, whatever it's called. Just all of them just moving this way. But it was just, like this part, all this other part was a grocery store. And this part, and the store was pretty, big. That Consumers is pretty big in real life. But, the scenario, it was all pretty large and everything. And then as I was walking back this way, I couldn't believe that. I'm like, wow, I can't believe I'm not smelling, like petroleum and shit like that. Because, there was, like, I remember seeing asphalt looking stuff, I guess that they were trying to put down or whatever. And gravel and stuff like that. And so as I was walking this way, overlooking this construction and stuff and delivering of food, I just couldn't believe. I was like, wow, I can't believe I'm not, smelling that petroleum smell and shit from the asphalt. Joe could have made me smell that if he wanted to, but he didn't. Well, that's because he knows that I'm kind of held up now and I don't smell things a million times amplified. But anyway, But man, when I woke up, I was just like, when I woke up, I'm like, oh, thank God I'm out of the, dumb fucking store. You know what I mean? When I woke up, I was just so glad that I was out of that store, because I never, but like I say, that one part I could have clearly left. So that part didn't make sense. Why the hell would I go back in, But I did. But like I said, after I woke up, I was like, oh, thank God I'm out of the store now. And two, I was just kind of like telling Joe, like, and images in my brain, I'm like, okay, I'm going to go back in there and shoot all of those employees in the head with a gun. But that was just, I told them that I'm going to edit the scenario now and go back. So in my mind, I was just envisioning going back in there. Just like bam, bam, bam. The people that locked us down, the employees or whatever. That was just, thoughts in my brain or whatever. But that I went back in the store and blah, 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 blah. But anyway, but yeah, it was a fun experience. Except, I just wish I could have, I wish it could have ended different. Like I would have got into my car, wherever it was, and then my purse, and then clearly just went out of the store, and then been free. But I guess I felt like I wasn't free once I went out of the store, because I didn't have my car with me and I didn't have my purse with me. So I still felt locked down, and so I went back in the store and stayed in lockdown. You know what I'm saying? Okay, well, thanks for listening.